So we got 8 companies to agree to join us on a new rollup we're working on. And if you're watching this, you might ask, like, what is a rollup? So for those of you new, I'll go through the basics and then I'll walk through the details of this transaction. So what is a rollup? Rollup is basically when you combine few companies together with the idea that if you make a bigger company by combining a lot of those companies as one, you could sell it for much more money, right? The bigger the business, the bigger the value, and the more it's worth even when we sell it to a different company. But why a rollup to start with? Why not just operate each of those companies separately? Well, look, in the end of the day, a lot of those companies that we're bringing on, in fact, all of them, they're doing great. Like, they're making at least 7-figure a year in revenues, at least $1 million in revenues, average between kind of like 1 to 5 in revenues. But the thing is that most companies out there, they don't really make it after 5 years. Like, most companies fail in the first few years. They fail because there's no demand for their product or no demand for their service. A lot of them just run out of money because they don't manage their financials well. A lot of them just can't find good people. A lot of them can't or don't do research on their market or competition. So their competition becoming better and they serve better their clients, and then the company is going down. Or they just don't have a plan, or they can't get money. Let's say they can't go out there and raise more capital, either with debt or equity, to grow. A lot of companies fail because they manage their financials poorly. They do bad marketing or just don't do marketing at all. A lot of them don't think about customers' needs at all, right? So they just try to sell without really focusing on the clients. Or they just can't beat their competition. They don't adapt. Some grow too fast as well. That happens as well, right? And there are many, many more reasons that I could talk about probably all day long. But back to why they join for a rollup. First of all, because a lot of companies fail. And when you join a group, there's much less chances of you failing, because there's a lot more support that you get from the other companies if it's by receiving referrals from potential customers of similar companies. And also, we go for businesses right now that already exist for 5+ years, and we pretty much skip the startup phase, right? And we do it to try and sell for a higher price, like I said. And it can work because the company is seen as more organized, more professional, with less risk. And overall, as a group, it includes many more products, many more people, many more locations. So it's an international group already. Like in our case, we already have US, Canada, Australian companies. And we, as the organizer, or call it a sponsor, we plan to take 20% of the exit, of the upside, basically. So say if we get eventually enough companies to get it to 10 million in EBITDA of the combined group, or profit to keep it simple, and sell it for 100 million. So again, if we sell 100 million company that makes 10 million profit, which is very doable to get 10 times multiples of profit, we'll get about 20 million. And we hope to do it fast, like hopefully within a year to 3 years. Now, what's cool in many of those business is that many of those business owners got into those companies that they own right now with our help, like helping them find those deals. So they either bought companies with our help that we helped them find, or with our investment or referral to investment that we made. And that became their first business. So a lot of those companies that join our rollup, they bought their first business that they ever had, and they bought the business with our help, and now they want to continue and grow with this group, right? So it's pretty beautiful to see it. Like, some of those people never had a business before. They bought a multi-7-figure business, and now they want to continue to grow. They trust us. They want to join this group, so we support them even more post-acquisition. We want to also continue to grow this group to as many companies as possible. Obviously not too much, because if it's going to be too many companies, it's going to be too much of a mess, because we want some kind of organization, and we don't want to get to a point where it's just everyone's doing whatever they want with too many companies and too many owners. It's kind of like the sentence of the worst thing what's the worst thing more than one good leader is 2 good leaders, right? You don't want too many people like making decisions on the path. So we want to continue to grow this group as much as possible. So we also have advisors, or scouts, call it, that continue to look for deals for us and send us deal flow. And it's pretty cool because it's an opportunity for everyone to make more money as a group, as a community, call it, instead of like more than they would on their own. So if scouts or advisors send us deals, they can get 1 to 2% from us, or even negotiate 5 to 10% from the seller. And the companies themselves, they join us. I mean, why would they join us? Is because, think about it. If they try to sell on their own, they might get 2 to 3 times on their profits as a small business, which is what each of those companies might get and is worth, right? And joining us, they could be part of, like I said, making a group of 10 million in EBITDA or profit, to keep it simple, all together, and they'll get a better deal in the market just because they're part of a bigger group, right? So it's good for everyone. They sell, like the business owners, they sell for more than they could alone. So instead of selling for 2-3 million, if they make, let's say, 1 million profit, they'll get 8 or 10 million for the same company, because they're not selling just themselves. The exit is going to be for the whole group, right? So alone, they will get 2 to 3 times. As a group, for the same small company, they'll get 10 times, but we sell it as one group. So obviously we need some kind of organization and a plan, and to present things to the buyer in a way that shows that this company is ready for an exit and ready to take things to the next level. So obviously there's work we need to do in order to optimize those businesses towards an exit. And I can go into this if you're interested on what we're going to do. I might go into it right now if we have some time, but like in the past, I can tell you, we were able, like in our biggest roll-up that we were supporting, we got the roll-up up to 200 million in revenues in contracts in less than a year. And the structure there was a bit different than this one. It was involved putting 200 million under LOIs, under contract, then raising capital at once. Then actually during due diligence, only around 110 million in revenues was acquired, because there was like different due diligence issues that we saw in some of those companies. And here it's a bit different, because we're kind of like doing a reverse roll-up. Instead of buying all the companies outright, we create a management group that we sweep and basically swap shares into a new company. And that's the roll-up, instead of having one company leading everything. I'm getting, by the way, lately a lot of emails from other business owners in my network in different sectors that are interested in this exactly same process, and they want to do the same thing. I'm kind of like still thinking if I want to do this, because I don't want to spread ourselves too thin, unless we'll find, I don't know, an amazing opportunity. We'll see. I know in the past, if I diverse myself too much, I'm just all over the place. And when you try to do too many things at once, you kind of like you end up having tons of like half-ass building that you don't really finish. So we'll work on that, and I'll just go through some more things you'll need to know. Is that like I said, we're going to work on optimizing each of those businesses, right? So we'll work on many things to help the businesses grow. So when we sell, each of those businesses also shows growth in their own profitability. So we're showing a growing company. Like we want to show a compound growth of like 20-30% a year as a group. So ideally each company will grow at least 20-30% organically, and as a group everything will go at least 20-30%. And if we'll make it grow 50% or more, that's how we can get even higher multiples, because a fast growing company can get bigger multiples in the market. Hence why we want to work on many things to grow those businesses. Like, first of all, making sure that there's one aligned vision, one aligned mission, similar values, better understanding of the market for everyone, better aligned culture, better understanding of data of each of those companies. We'll create some growth plans, understanding of the different products, different competitors. Obviously, we'll try to create a better moat, or what we call kind of like uniqueness in the market. We'll work hard to try to increase profit margins, alignment with the team, IT, communication, the org chart gotta be optimized. Obviously, we'll work on HR and professional development, recruiting processes, onboarding processes, tech, accountability, brand strategy, the sales, the marketing process, the operations, the customer support, the financial performance, budgeting, investment and capital allocation between those companies, optimization of taxes, of asset structure, of cash flow, of the legal stuff, and much more. And one of the questions a lot of people ask me is, are you going to allow each companies to operate separately with their own names, or you want to change the brand to one name? That's something we're still in consideration. We've done it in both ways in the past. I think that there's good and bad to each of those strategies. And I think it all comes down to the owners of what would they prefer, because some owners don't want to be interrupted. They don't want anyone to change anything in their businesses. And other owners say, you know what, I don't care. I actually would love to have a rebrand. I would love to align myself and collaborate in regards to everything with the other companies, even if it means that we're going to change the CRM to one CRM. So we'll need to find the right strategy here to make sure that everyone is happy. After we commit to do the first group of companies, we'll do some kind of a board vote alongside all of those groups, and then we'll make a decision on what the best way to exit. Because when you exit a business, the more you show that you're aligned as one company, the better chances you have, again, on showing that you're more organized, more professionalized, and get higher multiples at the exit. So each of those things that I mentioned can be optimized to achieve like the most of each company. And the beauty is that, like, imagine if we improve 1% in each of those things that I mentioned, kind of like in the puzzle pieces when it comes to growing a business. I mean, that could affect dramatically those businesses. And if all of those businesses will improve 1% in each of those, we can see hopefully 50% plus in growth each year. Because in the end of the day, remember, it's all about what we're trying to do here is just create more value to the market, right? And value is also about size. And we're aiming for those higher valuations in the market in the end of the day, right? We want to go and get those 10 plus valuations in that marketing space. We want to give business owners the chances to be part of something bigger, where we all win together, where business owners win by selling for 10 times instead of selling for 2 or 3 times, especially now with the market conditions. It's going to be very difficult to sell companies for the higher multiples unless you combine more companies and create something bigger and larger. And of course, for the advisors and scouts that will send us deals, they could make nice 5 or 6, multiple 6 or even 7 figure capital events for themselves when we'll sell the group for just introducing companies to those groups. So I think it's a win-win when we show kind of like what we're trying to do with acquisitions.com, where we try to build a network of advisors to send deals and make money for themselves. And of course, then work with our acquisitions community of people who buy businesses and then want to merge and exit as a group. So it's a win-win for everyone. So yeah, this is the world I'm trying to create. Go create the world you want. You know, it's your life. Don't give up. I love you. Bye-bye.